Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic today is African American youth and incarceration. And we're fortunate to have with us this morning to talk about African American youth and incarceration two individuals representing two very, very significant organizations. First, Mr. Ronald Johnson. Mr. Ronald Johnson is the president and CEO of an organization called Choices and the Effects. And of course, with Mr. Johnson is Mr. KWalker. Mr. Walker is a board member of an organization called the New Beginnings organization, which is located in the River Bend Maximum Security Institution. And of course, let me welcome you, Mr. Johnson, as well as Mr. Walker, to the show this morning. To talk about what I consider to be a very, very important question, and that is the fact of the incarceration of African American youth. I think almost in any statistic that you see, you'll find that they represent a very, very large number. But before we get into that, Mr. Johnson, let's have you and Mr. Walker to give us some information about your background and your education and some of the things that really qualify you to be able to deal with the issue that we're dealing with this morning. Let's start with you, Mr. Johnson, and of course we'll follow that with Mr. Walker.
Yes, I'm Mr. Ronald Johnson. I am the founder and CEO of Choices and the Effects. I'm a graduate of Tennessee State University. I started there in 1982. I played football, and from playing football, I made some choices. Through those choices, this is where this program was developed from. I also am the son of Clara and Herman Johnson. We have 10 boys, no girls. I just thank God that I am here, and I thank God for Choices and the Effects, because that's what life is all about, choices.
Very good. And of course, about your background, Mr. Walker.
Oh, my name is KWalker. I'm the pastor of the Hands of God Christian Outreach Ministries. We're a church located in South Nashville area. As far as educational background, I attended school for a while at Tennessee State University back in 1975, and at that time I got involved in drugs. I got addicted to drugs. I became a heroin addict at that time, and that spanned, took me through about 17 years of drug addiction. And as a result of my drug addiction, I ended up incarcerated in the state prison system for a period of 5 years of my life. And currently, right now, like I say, I'm pastoring a church. I'm involved in some things as far as work-related stuff is concerned. Part-time instructor with the Metropolitan General Sessions Court Safety Center. I do that and some DUI stuff, but I'm also involved with this prison group called New Beginnings out there at River Bend Maximum Security Prison. Got involved with them a few months ago, and we're moving forward in that direction now. And my passion now is to reach out, you know, and to help people that are experiencing some of the same type of things that I have experienced myself in life. And that's where I am now today in my life, and that's the direction that I'm moving in right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to come on the program to share some of the information that I do have about New Beginnings.
You know, let's talk about, since the title of this show is African American Youth and Incarceration, Mr. Johnson, let's start off by talking about some of the issues dealing with the incarceration of African American youth from your point of view and from the point of view of the information that you have available. Let's talk about it from that perspective.
Well, I think what we have is a number of youth making choices that they haven't had instructions from. We all have a choice in everything that we do. There's no such thing as I don't have a choice. This program that I have is something that will give the youth a chance to disciple or evaluate or process information before they make choices. And hopefully something that they hear will be something that they will apply to their life. I think our youth today is a high percentage in the prison system, both federal and state. I'm one who spent time in the federal system, so there's not many youth in the federal system. But I think if we can stimulate the thoughts of our youth on making better choices, we can make a difference.
So there is a difference in terms of the incarceration of African American youth in the two systems, the federal system as over against the state system. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, it is. In the federal system, you usually won't have a youth in the federal system if they're not past the age of 18. That still would be considered a youth, but 18 in the federal system is an adult, and you have what they call a mandatory minimum of 5 years in the federal system, which you would do 85% of that in the federal system.
And so there's a maximum of time that you can spend there as a young person. Then you move into another system. Is that what we're saying?
Well, for most cases, it depends on the case. Our youth today, a lot of them are in there for crack cocaine, and crack cocaine carries a violent crime in a sense, and some of them go to the big prison before they would come to a camp, and then some come straight to a camp. Experiencing the camp life is a little bit easier than experiencing the big place. They call it the big house.
What do you mean the camp? The camp?
The federal prison camp is a place where you don't have any bars, you don't have any, a whole bunch of guards standing around. You may have 300 inmates with about 4 guards. It's like being on a college campus, to be honest with you. But I think you have to make your choice to follow the rules and the regulations that are set before you, because if you don't, you'll be sent to what they call the big house, the big prison.
And so this gives you an opportunity. It's sort of on an honor system in a real sense that you've made some kind of infraction against the rules and regulations, but they sort of put you on an honor system to give you an opportunity to sort of work.
Exactly. It's an honor system. It's a lowercase type of incarceration. You have a little bit more freedom. You can kind of move around a little bit more at the camp. And then at some camps they have where they work on the base, and they're under military authority, where they go and they do the janitorial things at the military bases. But for the most part, the camp is really an easy scene. It's really an easy scene.
You know, Mr. Walker, I think that he already mentioned the fact that drugs play a significant role in terms of incarceration. As a matter of fact, we've done many, many shows, and many of them, almost all the social programs generally come back to what? To drugs and et cetera. So let's talk about that. I think you've already indicated that heroin and cocaine and et cetera, crack cocaine, I think, is a very, very important element in the incarceration of our youth. Well, what's the real problem there?
With the drugs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people it's a lot of stress in our society today, and people are looking for a way out. People are looking for ways to escape just everyday normal living situations. And what people are starting to turn to, they're turning to drugs. And I think, especially among the younger people, drugs are attractive because it offers a way to escape. And then, of course, you got the peer pressure that's involved in that situation, too. If Johnny's doing it, then Sally's doing it, then Jim is doing it. So everybody is doing it, and it kind of like you want to fit in, so you start smoking the marijuana, start snorting the cocaine, you start smoking the crack, you know, as an experimental type thing. But of course, once you get involved in it, then you no longer have control over it. Once you, as my brother here said, once you make that choice to indulge in drug usage, then after a certain period of time, then it begins to take control of you, and you no longer have a choice, and you have to do its bidding, you know. And as a result of that, a lot of our youth are becoming incarcerated. Then you also have the appeal that selling drug offers. You know, a lot of times we look at the drug dealer, you know, and we say he's such a low-down, dirty person, but a lot of times we have to look at it from another perspective also, and that is that it's an addiction also. The addiction to making fast money. You know, when you can go out and make $3,000 or $4,000 a day, that's an addiction. It is. And it's hard to break, you know, and there needs to be some programs in place for that, you know, also. So the problem is there. You know, we know the problems. We know that our youth are getting more and more involved in it, more and more involved in violent crimes as a result of drug and alcohol usage. You know, you got youth now that have no sense of morals, and not all of them now, but you have those that are caught up in this game that have no sense of moral behavior or anything like that, and it's easy for them to pull out a handgun and blow their brains out of a best friend because of the game, you know, because of the selling drugs and the using of drugs. You know, it's easier to do that now. As far as what's causing this to go at a rapid pace that it's going, I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that there are solutions to it.
Very good. And of course, we're making preparations for our first break here, after which we'll come back and we'll talk about what is being done in terms of trying to meet this as an issue. And of course, we'll be back with you following this short commercial break. The topic today is African